This is a quick video to help people get started in Chernarus on PC, Xbox and PS4. Here I'll explain how to get started with food, water and decent loot at the early stages because I know how easy the game can kill you without you ever getting to actually explore Chernarus itself. The first thing I'd recommend, however, is you download an app called DayZ with a Z. This will give you the whole map and loot locations. Then all you have to do is read a nearby sign to determine where you are and go from there.
Sign. Right, okay. Buy hepatitis.
Good to note, there are maps in game in the form of tourist maps as well as you are here signs, but in my opinion they're not common enough to be useful.
You always start off with rags, glow stick and a fruit of some sort.
Now let's begin. Before you loot, it's important to understand the basics. When you spawn, you'll always be near a coastal area or town. The sun always rises to the east, so if you're lost, just look towards the sun, and in some cases it can help you head in a coastal direction, which is a good place to get the basics. For food, there are a few ways to get it. Other than generally searching around building to building, searching these little boats along the coast usually have supplies. Food, drink, fishing rods, hatchets, dry bags, hats and so on can sometimes spawn along the coast. If you find food that's in a can, you'll usually need a knife, can opener or a hatchet to open it, which you can do by combining it with the can in your hand. If you don't have any of these things, try and find 2 rocks, combine them and make an improvised knife, or look at tin tuna, which I believe is just a pull tab, so all you have to do is put it in your hand, pull and eat. Another way to get food, and my personal favorite, is to kill zombies. I do this a lot as they usually drop canned food, Pepsi, not too cold and so on. But I'd advise using a weapon, going one-on-one only and not getting spawned. If you do find yourself getting endlessly chased, the tip is running into a building, have them following you in and then run out closing the door behind you. This is what most people do.
Kinda want the hat. Do I have a hat? I don't have a hat. Kinda want the hat.
Other than that, for food, mushrooms grow around trees or hay bales, though they can sometimes make you ill, so I'd say unless it's a really desperate situation, try to avoid them. Apples fall from apple trees, which are usually found in towns or apple orchards. Chickens can be skinned using a knife or improvised knife, and fish can be caught and cooked like raw chicken. However, you will need to cook the meat first. To do this, you'll need an axe or hatchet to cut down trees or bushes until you find firewood, short sticks and long sticks. Then combine the firewood with rags, allowing you to place down a fireplace. Then ignite the fireplace with either a flare, matches, or by using a knife to get bark from a tree and combining it with the stick to make a drill. Use this drill to ignite the fire. Then put the meat onto a long stick by combining them and approach the fire to cook. Watch the meat closely and remove as soon as it changes colour, as it can burn. Then just eat.
And rehydrate. The calories burn a lot quicker than the hydration depletes.
Dehydration is another problem. Food can sometimes add a little bit of hydration when you eat, but Pepsi, Cola and so on is your best bet. Water can specifically be found in bottles, streams, fountains and ponds, and any containers or water bottles can be refilled most places there is water. However, all water sources since the last patch can now give you cholera, which is a terribly slow way to die. How you fight this is by using antibiotics and only eating and drinking in small increments. This means not letting your bars get above yellow to avoid vomiting everything and emptying them completely. While you have cholera, if you let your bars fill up past the yellow, you'll find that you'll vomit every single time, loading them almost completely. So, how do you find antibiotics when you're struggling to find everything else? Well, most coastal towns have hospitals and police stations, and honestly, hospitals and police stations should be your first stop. As I said, you can find these by using the iSurvive app if you're unfamiliar with the area. Just find the name of the town and check the app. It takes 10 seconds and saves hours of premature dying. I'd recommend you firstly go to a police station, as they usually have weapons and bullets, though it varies town to town, and then after the police station go directly to the hospital, which usually have antibiotics. You can also find chlorine tablets and use them to clean the water before you drink it, preventing any risk of disease from that particular bottle or container. So a quick recap before I move on. Food from zombies, boats and coastal towns, water from streams, bottles and fountains, but always clean or use antibiotics when possible. And keep in mind when you're near these water sources, if you enter them you can get drenched, which causes hypothermia to set in and it just kills you. It's a messy thing, try to avoid this. To avoid this, either swap clothes or dry yourself off next to a fire as soon as possible. Wet clothes can make you cold but not really give you hypothermia in most cases, but it's still not recommended. Now, once you've been to the nearest hospital and police station, hopefully you have enough equipment to be able to move deeper in inland. This should be done as soon as you're able, and you should not hang around the coast too long unless absolutely necessary. The loot here is poor and scarce. A lot of new people tend to stay here way too long, and it will kill you quickly if you don't progress and move forward. The more inland you get, the better the loot and the better equipped you get. However, this is the same for everybody else, so be careful because most people in DayZ are not your friend.
Really sure he just killed the guy. I was chased here.
After the hospital and police station, I'd recommend going to a military base and try to increase your gun and ammo. But be careful as other people have the same idea and zombies frequent these places a lot. After all this, you should be set to explore Chernarus with enough equipment to get you through, and if you die, rinse and repeat.
Right. And I'm dead.
So, if you liked the video, like and subscribe.